Hi there and welcome to the Ukestuff channel. Today we're going to do an unboxing of an ukulele. So if you don't like unboxing videos, please skip ahead to another video on this channel. But otherwise it's a way for me to show you what's coming up on this channel. Now for about the last 6 months I've officially been working with Flight as an educational advisor and as a tech writer doing some things for the company on a very part-time basis. One of the other things I've been talking with Flight about is the use of the ukulele in education. And that's a topic that I'm very passionate about as a music educator and as a person that teaches ukulele to my students, as well as a person that uses ukulele with my students. So, with that, we were talking about what would be the best sort of situation for an instrument for schools. And this instrument here is sort of what our compromise is to answer that solution. So it's not an all new model, it's an existing model of Flight with some additions. So let's open it up and take a look and let you see what this is all about. In the United States, Flight is distributed by Hal Leonard. Hal Leonard is perhaps the world's largest music company as a whole, and they carry all sorts of brands. So if you are a teacher or a individual that has a relationship with a company that works with Hal Leonard, which is almost all of them, you can always order a Flight instrument, even if they're not an official full-time dealer. But that being said, this is great for schools because then schools have the ability to order these as well. Now, we are in 2020 as I film this, and it is not quite 2021, although this video is probably going to post at the beginning of 2021. And there are some changes in education right now. So, for example, with the pandemic, with the coronavirus, we have to make sure that instruments can be cleaned, that we, if possible, that they're affordable because we might need to buy more of them for our students. And hopefully this instrument bridges some of those gaps. So inside is the ukulele. Flight recently redid the boxes here. So concert scale soprano ukulele, that confuses a lot of people. It just means it's a longer neck on a soprano body. It's the concert size neck. You can see the text there that's talking about designed for durability. The Flight Travel Ukulele is ready for your next adventure. This ukulele is loved by both beginning and experienced players for its unique design, great sound, and affordable price. Take flight with the Travel Ukulele and go rock the world. All right, then you can see it's the TUS model on the end, and it has a bunch of things over here too. Bright and funky, durable and made for travel, loud and resonant, fitted with a keyless strings and a strap button, 0 fret for great intonation and low action, and a patented design. So let's take a look at it and see what makes this one different. All right. First of all, I want to point out that the Flight travel bag has changed and has improved. The thinner bag used to be a little different. It feels much nicer now, and it looks even better than it did. So that's kind of cool. By the way, Flight is a company that listens to its customers, it listens to its dealers, it listens to its distributors, and if there is something that they see that isn't quite right or they see something that they want to improve, they will improve it with the next batch of ukuleles that they make. This current shipment of ukuleles that just arrived has been in transit for a while. The pandemic has really slowed things down, and this shipment just barely got here before Christmas of 2020. When you have an instrument like this, Flight isn't afraid to change what they've done, whereas some companies just keep making the same thing forever and ever and ever without changing anything when they know that there's something they need to change. So that's really cool about Flight, that they have the ability to do that, and because realistically it's a smaller company, even though it's now around the world, they can really pivot quickly versus some larger organizations. So let me show you the other things you get in here. You do get your normal Flight stickers. So those come with every Flight ukulele. Now most Flight ukuleles come shipped with a little booklet to get you started that features Elise Eklund on the front. The TUSL-KIDZ ukulele has a different booklet that I was involved with the creation of. So this is the booklet that you get. We'll go over that in a second. And then you get an extra set of Aquila Kids colored strings. And that was a special request for schools. And we'll talk about that in a minute as well. So let's talk about the booklet. So the booklet is really intended to help schools just a touch. It's not a full curriculum in 8 pages. You just can't get there. But you have the diagram of the ukulele, and then the illustrator, who is awesome, Ilya. He made all these great little kids, and they are all holding ukuleles, and they're kids that are representative kids around the world. It's just fantastic. So you've got the parts of your ukulele. On the inside, you've got a chart showing you how to tune your ukulele. You've got a basic guide of how to hold the ukulele, where to strum. You've got some basic strumming patterns to start with. And then you have a chord chart for all the major and minor and seventh chords, not the diminished or anything, because you're just getting started here. And then some songs that are pretty common. Happy Birthday, Farajaka, Row Row Your Boat, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And then the last page, you have a little bit about flight ukulele and a little bit about the Flight Kids ukulele. So that's the special booklet that we put together, and it's really neat to see that in print. And then let's talk about the strings. All right, now let's take a look at the ukulele itself and then get into a discussion of the strings that come with it. So the bag really does feel much improved over the old bag. You have a handle on the side and a single strip on the back, and here it is. It's the same as their dark blue concert scale soprano ukulele or long neck travel ukulele, and it has the strings: green, red, yellow, and blue. Now these are kid strings by Aquila. They were specially made a couple years ago by Aquila with the idea of helping teachers. And let me tell you, as a music teacher, it helps greatly, because we struggle. I think everybody struggles when you're first starting the ukulele. If somebody says first string, third fret, those numbers get jumbled in our brain. But if you can say to someone blue string, third fret, or blue string, third box, they can find it pretty quickly and pretty easily. And that changes everything. Now, these chord color shapes are also available as a font through Chordet. It's called Chordet for Education. I know I've made ukulele play-alongs that feature these color strings, and there are some other resources as well. So there are some free resources out there, or it's easy to make your own that match this. Yes, you can use the strings to teach melody as well, even though that isn't my main approach. Paul Marchese, for example, is a teacher in Illinois. He's got a website called Ukulele for Teachers. He has a method that he's created where he teaches students how to play melody by using the string colors. So for example, when they're learning C, D, they're using the red string. E, F, and G, they're using the yellow string. And they're up to A, B, and C, they're on the blue string, and they're learning those as part of their melody. By the way, one of the things that Paul does, in addition to just teaching his kids how to play chords, is he actually does sort of an ukulele orchestra where the kids are all learning different parts and they play together, which is a pretty cool concept as well. Now, as we're talking about those strings, you also get a second pack of them. And there's a reason for that, which is when you buy these in bulk as a company, you get a discount. Aquila does sell packs of 20 of these at a pretty affordable price. However, schools, when they're buying ukuleles, probably do not have a huge budget with which to buy more things. So they go right into it having a set of strings to replace their existing strings should something happen. And as a person who teaches ukulele, things will happen. There will be the student that turns the strings too far and breaks one, that sort of thing. So with that in mind, schools go into it with the purchase price with an extra set of strings with the colored strings so that it kind of stretches their budget further. I also wanted to mention price. I can't really speak to price right now. I can speak to that later, but these instruments are so new into Hal Leonard's catalog that they're not even indexed on the website with that price yet. By the time this video releases, it may be out. So I would suggest going to halleonard.com and just on their search, look for KIDZ. And when it's in their database, you should be able to pull it up and see the pricing. And again, check with your local dealer because their price, they might even do something special for schools. Just double check and ask. What I will say is that these are going to be very affordable in the larger scheme of things, including what you get. Don't forget that a set of strings like these, if you buy them from Aquila directly, are over $8 a set. Now, I do want to be clear that you can buy these strings in packs of 20 or sets of 20. They're not retail packed at a discount directly from Aquila. It's the only way that you can get them as a teacher, and you do have to pay for shipping from Europe, but it still works out to be a pretty good deal. But still, if you have to buy a single pack of these, they're not inexpensive. And there's also a reason why, which is each individual pack of these, when you buy one, Aquila is donating a set of strings to other places, such as Ukulele-KIDZ Club and other organizations like that. So once again, to just kind of close out this part of the video, I can't really speak to pricing yet, but do check halleonard.com down the road and you'll be able to see them listed there. Now, when we read the box, we read through many of the characteristics of the instrument, but let's see if I can just talk through a few more of the things that make the travel ukulele itself kind of a good choice for schools. First and foremost, you'll notice it has an ABS body and it has an ABS fretboard. That means students will never experience a sharp fret. The instrument will not just completely go crazy when the weather changes at your school. Most schools do not have good climate control, so your music room may have wild swings in terms of temperature and humidity throughout the year, which I know from my case wreaks havoc on the ukuleles. They just go out of tune and out of whack for a while. That won't happen with these. And then sadly, of course, being 2020, you can disinfect the neck and the body quite easily. And I would test your disinfectant on the linden top. As a side note, however, if you are a school that'd be ordering 100 of these, you should check with Hal Leonard about ordering custom-made tops. You can actually have, with a set of 100, custom-made tops made for not much more than the price of what they normally go for in the stores. So they can customize a top and a headstock for you to match your school if you have an order of 100 ukuleles, which may not be as crazy as it sounds. You could potentially buy some extras and use them as a fundraiser for your school. So kind of a neat idea with that as well. The long neck here will give you more space for your older students, so high school and middle school students can play this. The smaller soprano body makes it pretty easy to hold, so your younger students can play it and still work with that longer neck. It's still pretty well balanced, even though it's a long neck soprano. You do have a strap button down here in the event that you have a student that can't hold on to the ukulele. You can actually get a strap, and then you can use a neck strap attachment up here without a second strap button on the top. You will also see that the back is very nicely rounded, which really helps with projection, and the linden tops on these flight travel ukuleles are great. If you remember, we also talk about a 0 fret, which is hard to see in the camera, but there is a second little line that makes sure that the intonation is as good as you're probably going to get it, and the action is generally really low on these. How low, you ask? Well, let's find out. I have to put on my glasses for this. So here's my string action ruler, and I look in millimeters. Action at the 12th fret is 2.25 millimeters. Action at the 1st fret is it's under 0.5 millimeters. So you are right at a fantastic playing experience right off the bat. There are so many bad beginner ukuleles that schools buy where the action is awful and kids are learning on a really bad playing experience. That's not the case when you're using a flight travel ukulele. Now, I talked earlier in the video about how Flight isn't afraid to change things, and I'm just going to give you an example of that. This is my original Flight ukulele. It has, again, a slotted bridge, but it had a molded saddle in it. It was compensated, but there were a few of these very early ones where the string pulled out and damaged the bridge. By the way, Flight took care of those customers who had that happen to. And what they did is they changed it to this. This is my regular TUSL, and it has a non-compensated saddle, and it has a different design bridge to avoid that breakage. They changed midstream and they changed all the instruments to have those. Now, it's been a while since I've had that dark blue long neck soprano, this new model, and it's been for a while now. This isn't a recent change, but now these also come with a new compensated saddle. So Flight continues to change things and improve things as they go. Other things, there are side position markers on the side of the instrument. So I imagine you'd like to hear what this sounds like, so let me get my tuner and we'll tune it up and just let you hear it a little bit and we'll wrap up this video. All right, so thanks for watching this unboxing of this ukulele that's kind of special to me, as again, I had a role in its coming to reality. And many thanks to Flight for sending this ukulele to me and for working with me. It's been a joy to work with them. All right, thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more uke stuff for you.